no more protest victims to honor.
The executive coordinator of the United Nations Volunteers UNV program, Olivia Adam, has concluded his visit to the East African countries of Tanzania, Uganda and Kenya. The East African countries continue to show interest in leveraging volunteerism for development, with Kenya already having a national volunteer policy in place. However, to be most effective, volunteers often require support from wider, more formalized structures. My colleague Jesse Rogers spoke to Adam about his mission to galvanize increased support and recognition for the integration of volunteers in development programming in the region. Let's listen in to how that conversation went.
Now, as the UNV, if we're looking into entrepreneurship as a target, how have you as an organization actually put in place strategies to ensure that, yes, we give them proper exposure when it comes to volunteering, but we also enable them to nurture these dreams of not working 9 to 5, as you mentioned, but also in the near future owning something of their own, which will contribute to the country's GDP?
You know, for us, we know very well that Agenda 2030 cannot just be done by the UN and governments. It's the efforts of the entire society, and the private sector has a huge role to play in bringing also some of the values in their work. We have a coalition of private sector companies that include a lot of African companies called Impact 2030 to look at how does the private sector engage on this Agenda 2030, not only through corporate social responsibility programs, but also to give opportunity even to their own employee to have time to volunteer and to work on issues that are larger, maybe that's what the company does itself, to bring skills outside. And so we think that, you know, we can be a conduit through, in particular, our digital platform, in giving also volunteer opportunities for employees of company to support other, maybe more junior company, to create markets, to prepare business plans. And, you know, we are engaging across many partners, because we obviously a common service to the United Nations system, whereby we have volunteers in all the organizations of the UN system. Some organizations are working in extreme closely to the private sector in their various areas. And so we, again, by bringing volunteerism at the forefront of these organizations' interaction with the private sector, we can support those goals. I think, you know, with 1 million young people coming on the job market in Kenya every year, even with high level of education, there's obviously problem of absorption of this talent. So I think the government is also looking at skill sets and where there are job creation in, and our universities or all types of education really fit for the job market. I think there's a lot of efforts also by the Kenyan government and the international community to work to give more technical capacity to young people for areas that maybe have growth in the job market. We see ourselves as a partner to universities to basically expose university students to the United Nations system. We are hoping to sign a memorandum of understanding with Mount Kenya, for example, whereby universities themselves will provide some funding for some of their students to get opportunities to volunteer with the UN outside Kenya or inside Kenya. And we have this type of agreements across universities in the world. So again, through engaging universities all together, finding the right skill sets and for really informing the students at what are areas of growth in the job market. But it is a big challenge, not only for Kenya, but for a large number of countries with huge bulges, to find the right avenues. obviously new technologies, new ways of working, and you know the world of work is changing drastically. Actually, the Secretary General of the United Nations has commissioned a special commission to look at this and to see how this will impact the day-to-day life of citizens. But we really believe that keeping youth engaged is fundamental. And it may not be through the normal avenue of work of, you know, a 9-to-5 work in a company or in civil service, but through engaging in daily activities in communities also.
Thank you, Jesse, for that. Now, 2 weeks